Kevin and the Blackbirds, based on the old Irish legend about Saint Kevin, who holds, nurtures, and then lets go, a sign of true love. A quote by David Almond, the author, illustrated by P.J. Lynch. These things happened in distant days. There was a boy named Kevin whose parents were very poor. They took him to a monastery. "We love him very much," they said, "but we cannot look after him. Will you take care of him for a time?" The monks agreed. "When things are better, we will come back, Kevin. We will take you home again." Kevin served at tables. He lit lamps in the chapel. The monks taught him to read. They taught him hymns and prayers. Kevin was happy, but he missed his parents and his home. Every day, he looked out for them. When the work was done, Kevin roamed in the woods and fields outside the monastery walls. He made friends with the fox, the deer, the hare, the mouse, and all the birds above. They came to know Kevin. They saw him as one of their own. He ran with them and sang with them. He was happy out there with his wild friends, in the freedom of the field and the woods, in the liberation of the air. It felt like home. But as time passed, the monks said that he must change. "Now that you're a little older, you should spend more time indoors, Kevin. You should pray. You should bow your head, be quiet and still." They brought him into a small room with a hard bed and a narrow window. "It is time you leave your wild friends, Kevin. You must start to grow up." Kevin yearned for the light and the life of the world. He yearned for his home and his parents. One day he stretched open hands out through the window into the light. A blackbird came and landed in them. Kevin didn't move. The blackbird flew away. Kevin waited with his hands held out, and then 2 blackbirds came, a male and a female. They began to build a nest right there in Kevin's hands. For 3 days, the blackbirds built that nest. The monks saw and were amazed. Kevin slept with his head against the window and his hands stretched out. The monks brought food for him. The blackbirds brought him fruit and seeds. When the nest was done, one blackbird settled deep within. It laid 3 blue eggs there, in the nest in Kevin's hands. The birds took turns to sit upon those eggs. Kevin was tired and sore, but he kept his hands held out. His hands became a home for the chicks that would soon come. The first egg hatched at dawn one day. The little wet chick chipped its way out and struggled to stand and stretch its wings. The second one came, and then the third. 3 new wild things at home in Kevin's hands. Back and forth the blackbirds flew. They took shells away, they brought insects and worms, and dropped them into gaping beaks. The fledglings thrived. They made their first bold and tiny calls. They spread their bold and tiny wings. They grew together, and soon the nest was hardly big enough. The first chick leapt from the nest at dawn one day. It hid in the tall grasses and beneath the shrubs. The blackbirds fed it there. Then the second leapt, and then the third. 3 new wild things gone out into the world from Kevin's hands. Kevin drew his hands back through the window. He laid the nest beside his bed. He watched the chicks grow strong. He saw them stretch their wings and soar into the air at last. Then he slept in his hard bed behind his narrow window. "Forgive us, Kevin," said the monks. "We see now that we must let you go." Kevin followed the new wild things into the world. Once more, he ran and sang with the beasts and birds in the woods and the fields. This is where he was a wild new thing himself. One day, 3 young blackbirds came to him. They sang their joyous songs for him. Kevin's spirits soared, for he was the boy who had helped bring these birds to life.